record this time?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of CastPod.
It's time for real.
Yeah.
On
Are they
our
gonna?
perspective.
Because they won't hear that beginning part, right?
No.
At all. Okay.
No.
Okay. Kevin, we started the episode, but instead of recording it, he went live on Twitch. Twitch.tv/ballyache, by the way.
Oh, look at him dropping.
Wow, look at that, like, seamless plug right there. But yeah, that was that's really funny. Because he started the episode, and then I get a notification on my phone, and it's like, Ballyache went live, and I was like, what?
It's funny because I got a notification too, and it's like Twitch mobile dashboard, and it's just like, that's silly. Oh.
I was like, okay, well, I could have sworn I was just talking to Kevin, but apparently he's streaming.
Surprise.
Anyways, yeah, welcome back. So today we have a very interesting topic, one I'm very excited to talk about. I did not tell
I would
Kevin
say,
in
I'm
advance.
completely in the dark.
Yeah,
And
and it's kind of out of the blue, so I don't know if you can really expect where it's coming. Our listeners might know where it's coming from
mhm.
if you paid attention to the last episode.
Oh god, I don't.
Because I've started making this habit where I randomly say a topic in the previous episode and say we're going to talk about that next week, and then we do talk about it. Isn't that wild?
Is that our new thing? We're actually going to start talking about them next week? Didn't we, like,
That's our
push
new.
back one because of Tom?
Yeah, well, whatever. That's our new shtick. Is I say a thing that we're going to talk about, and then we actually talk about it. It's kind of like what Amanda Bynes did on the Amanda Show,
Oh,
where
yeah.
she's like, "Sorry,
My
I gotta go. My grandma's on fire."
Yeah.
You know.
My name's Amanda and I gotta go pet a llama. See
Yeah,
ya.
exactly like that. And actually, there's a YouTuber I watch who, a couple of YouTubers actually, who were previous Vine stars that do
Mhm.
that exact outro. And I don't know if anybody's ever called them out on it, but I'm like, that's the Amanda Show thing. But I mean, like, they're around our age, so it makes sense.
Mhm.
But we're actually going to talk about stuff. So last episode, I
I
mentioned
was to
that.
say, I'd like to point out that this will be very telling of how we record our episodes when we start doing this. And you can
Well,
tell,
people tell that it's been like half a month since we recorded.
I mean, there's that, but also the fact of, with me, it's like, you'll be like, next time. And if I say I remember that, it means it's the second or third episode we recorded in a row, as opposed to
Yes.
me just going, "What are you talking about?"
You're like, I haven't spoken to you in 3 weeks. What do you meant? What is this?
What is going on here? Who are you people?
But I know everybody's on the edge of their seats now. They want to know what it is. So the topic today, Kevin, that we're going to be discussing is conspiracy theories.
Oh, nice.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, because I don't know what I was talking about last time, but I remember that I said something like, maybe we'll talk about conspiracy theories next week, and here we are, next week,
Big
technically.
fan of conspiracy theories. I like where this is going.
Me too. I love conspiracy theories.
I was,
And
I was
go on.
really like, I was just sitting here going, please not another book. Please not another book. We don't have Tom this week. I can't phone it in on my own.
I can't fake interest in books. I just can't. No, I won't make you talk about books unless we have Tom back and we talk more about Okonkwo the cat. But no, we're going to be talking about conspiracy theories, and I'll just say a quick piece because we'll be talking about a few that
All right.
I'll say like some of that are like really popular, and a few that are just like our personal favorites, you know.
Mhm.
So I'll just say, first of all, I love conspiracy theories, and I am a man of science. Kevin too. So like I'm all about the facts, right? Like
Mhm.
provide evidence, citations, credible sources. Whenever I'm having like a serious debate or like I really want to
Yeah.
find out information on something, it's like it's got to be legitimate, you know? If you
One of
don't have any
my
evidence,
Yeah.
go on.
One of my favorite teachers in college, Golden, He was the guy that taught us, more specifically me and Logan, the canine behavior and training class.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first things he said, and I'll always remember this because it gave me a lot of respect for him,
Right.
is like, listen, if you can argue any point you want to make, and I'll give you credit for it, I'll fix it on the test, whatever, but you have to back it up. If you can show me and prove to me that I was wrong, no questions asked, I will fix it, whatever it is. However, like, you have to show me legitimate proof or have like solid evidence to back up your argument. You can't just be like, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Why am I wrong? And I'll always respect
Exactly.
him for that because that was like legitimate ways of how things are done.
It's a great point, and that is how it should be, and that's how I've always been with stuff where it's like, you know, especially in debates because I love debates. Is like you have to be able to back up what you're saying.
Are you a
You
great
can't
debater?
just say stuff. I'm honestly kind of a master, if I do say so myself.
You're
Uh,
a master at argumenting?
thank you, thank you for bringing that home. Yeah, I just it's like it's so easy to lose an argument or a debate when you say something and you cannot provide evidence.
Mm-hmm.
But conspiracy theories are just too fun
Oh, yeah.
to just
So
like
think
shoo
about.
away. You know, so, like you can throw out some wild conspiracy theory, and I'm like, heck yeah, let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about that. I don't need scientific papers. I don't need data. I just need to hear the theory and how insane it is, and I'm all for it.
Oh, I got a
So,
fun one.
let's open the floor with you then, Kevin.
All right.
What's the conspiracy theory
So
that you really like?
this came up at work the other day. Working in
Mm-hmm.
retail, big topic of discussion is always wearing masks and all that fun stuff.
Mm.
So the big one was the one we were talking about was in like the disposable mask. Um,
Mm.
the little wire to like mold around your nose is a 5G fiber optic wire, and that fiber optic wire causes mind control by the government. Mm,
Oh man.
yeah. So the government's brainwashing us by making us safe. When I saw on YouTube earlier that it was like first press conference with Trump wearing a mask
A
for the first
mask.
time or whatever. It's just like now, this
Fantastic.
far in. And so we were bored at work and we took it a step further. We had those disposable masks that they're warning about us from the government, and we cut one open. And that little nose molder holder thing is
Mm-hmm.
legitimately a twist tie. You know, like the kind you put around your bags of bread or muffins?
No, 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 no.
Literally, we opened it up and found a fully formed twist tie. Not like I could go to the supermarket and get the same exact one off the little holder that like they all hang down from.
I don't know. Sounds like fiber optics to me.
It was hilarious.
I didn't know whether or not to touch on the whole COVID conspiracies because it's a hot topic right now, but I it's a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole if nobody knows what it is, Kevin just touched on it briefly, but it ties in with the pandemic that's currently happening and also 5G internet,
Yes.
which, you know, to normal brain
Oh,
people is probably like, huh? Yes.
I think it stems back to when I told the story about the guy that talked about like the reason we're you mentioned conspiracy theories is when
Mm-hmm.
I talked about the guy who's just like, ah, you know what? And it's just like, what? It's like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
the 5G waves make our cells vibrate at a frequency releasing the coronavirus. And I just
Yep.
sit there and go, huh?
That would be it. That would actually make a lot of sense. Cause yeah, that's the whole deal. I think I just
Good.
closed out of Discord for a second. Uh,
Well, I can still hear you, so it's still recording.
okay, good. I clicked right back in. Um, that is the whole deal with it. Is that the idea is that 5G internet, which is this new thing, which is basically just marketing.
Mm-hmm.
5G, like the phrase, basically means nothing. I'm pretty sure it just means like more coverage and
Yeah.
stuff. Um,
It's supposed to be like
but
the
like
next improvement to 4G or whatever.
yeah, because everybody who like has that kind of smartphone knows that like throughout the years it's gone from 2G to 3G, 4G, and now boom, we have 5G. And like it's more like a marketing thing than anything. Just to be like, ooh, higher number means better thing, right? Uh, but for some reason people took that and with its like release being close to around the time that the pandemic was happening, people for some reason, even though it hasn't happened with any previous internet, 4G, 3G, or any of the other ones, were like, oh, this is causing the disease. Because they think that they're like the towers that are putting out the internet signals are messing with our cells. And people say that the virus is within our cells and that it just like releases the right DNA of the virus and makes us sick, which is just it's like as a biologist, I'm sure Kevin feels the same.
It's kind of
It's
dumb.
baffling. it's just it's incredible how little people know about biology. Like to hear this
It's
kind of
kind
stuff.
of baffling.
It's like how I know most people didn't pay attention in 10th grade biology, but like come on. like, at least a little bit of brain power could help you figure out in that that's malarkey. Um, but yeah, so that's a pretty hot topic right now. It won't go too in depth because I'm sure most people know about it right now. So I wanna talk about some other popular ones, other ones that I just really enjoy. So I think probably one of the most famous ones that's been going on for a while, which I adore, is the flat Earth theory.
Oh god.
I mean, come on. What's name a more iconic conspiracy theory, right?
Oh, this is classic.
It's so good. So I
Alright.
don't know how many people listening to this would not know about it, but I feel like I have to explain it
Gotta
regardless.
explain it.
So the flat Earth theory, if we travel back in time to days like pre-Copernicus,
Hey,
um,
Copernicus.
people used to think that the Earth was flat. They thought it was one big shape. I don't know if people thought it was a circle or not. They thought it was one big thing, flat thing, that like if you reached the edge, you'd like fall off. Or some people don't think there's an edge. I'll get into that. Um, but they just thought it was flat because everything looks flat, right? You look
Mm-hmm.
any direction, and unless you're near like mountains, I guess, or a cliff, everything's just like flat. So you're like, well, yeah, there's no way this could like we could be living on a thing that's anything but flat. But then we realized, oh wait, we're living on a sphere, like a big old
No,
three-dimensional
we're not.
circle. You're right. We're living on a velociraptor shaped landmass floating through space.
There we go.
That's the theory I go with. Oh, somebody might call me out. It's not a sphere. It's like oblong, but whatever. You're a nerd. So
Who's gonna call you out?
I
Tom?
don't like Tom. Yeah. Um, but for some reason, people are convinced that that is not true. Because if you've ever taken a physics class, you would realize that the Earth, like every other planet that we know about, is circular. Because even the Flat Earth Society agrees that other planets are circular. It's just Earth that's flat, which is astounding. Um,
Oh
but
man.
you would know that because of gravity and all the other forces that things are brought into like a spherical shape, like the pull from every direction creates that sort of shape. Um, and even though we're spinning, like there's just so much to this theory. There's so much to it because there's so many things that flat Earth believers have to prove wrong,
You
right?
you know what we should do with this?
What should we do?
We so you know how I bought the CastPod lab coats,
Hmm.
and they're currently sitting in the trunk of my car,
Yes.
and I've been there for about a month now, I think.
Right.
They've been there the entire time I've had them.
Good.
Um, we should test out, like, go on a model scale and
To
test
do
out
flat Earth stuff.
flat Earth theories. So we'll
I'm
go
so
buy
down.
like a globe, we'll buy a frisbee, we'll buy a toy velociraptor, and we'll test and see how it could work out.
It's just like I've gone deep down the rabbit hole on this one before, many a time. I've gone in and been like, what are these people talking about? And I do that with a lot of conspiracy theories, which is why I was excited to talk about this today. But flat Earth is just like
They're the next
a-
level.
anything you can think of. They've figured out a way to explain it with air quotes because their logic is just fantastic. So let me explain how a flat Earth works. Like I'm going into characters of this flat Earther right now. So let me tell you this: the Earth is flat. Why is it flat? Because we're special. Literally, every other
That's not
planet.
the argument, is it?
I mean that's part of it. Is every other planet is like spherical, right? But none of those other planets have life on it. We're the only planet that we've found so far that has life on it. So we're special. We are created by divine forces. And that's why our planet is so different, and that's why it's flat. So what we have is basically we have this big flat circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the sun and the moon basically hovering above us, just kind of rotating around. They don't go like all the way around, like 360 degrees. They just kind of hover over top, kind of like a lamp, right? Like two
Mm-hmm.
two little lamps go in their own direction around the planet. So I just thought of the funny tweet from the Flat Earth Society where it was like there are flat earthers all around the globe.
Yeah.
And somebody commented, say that again, but slower.
That's the best.
Oh man, I love it. But okay, so, and like we know that this is true because look at the UN logo. Okay, do you know what
Okay.
it is?
Yeah. It's a bunch of stars in a circle, correct?
It is, oh, that's the EU,
Oh.
but the like the whole United Nations is all the continents together, flat, two-dimensional. You know what that is? The flat Earth. Why would the United Nations, as their logo, have a map of the flat Earth?
Because their logo's not 3D?
Well, you clearly work for the government. So, anyways, moving on. So, NASA has been lying to us, okay? They've been telling us for so long that the Earth is spherical, but it's not. And don't Josh Peck me on this going spherical. It's not, it's flat.
So here's a bigger thing that I'm looking at. I just because when you said that, I learned I don't know what the United Nations logo is off the top of my
Yeah.
head.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do you see the perspective that they chose for it?
Yes.
They chose it a picture of the world from the North Pole.
Yes.
Now,
Exactly.
hang on. That might
Okay.
mean that might lean towards the flat earthers theory.
Oh, it does.
How
But
does
but
it?
go on. No, go on.
No,
I want to hear your
because
thought
it's
process.
because like if this Earth is flat like that, then the
Mm-hmm.
sun can easily just as it goes across the sky
Yes.
and like around. So you know how we're tilted a certain way depending on the time of year.
Well, that's wrong, but yeah.
What? We're not tilted?
No, this is my flat Earth character,
Oh,
Kevin.
okay.
I'm in the so I'm gonna prove points via flat Earth theory. But
I
go on, yes.
mean,
So yeah,
the
that's
world
wrong. But
can
go
be
on.
the world can be bent even though it's flat. Can
Yeah, or whatever.
but it the sun like scans over part of the world at like more of kind of like a half baked copier. Like you know how the
Yes,
copier machine they'll scan the entire document. It
correct.
does that like halfway. It only goes to the
Yeah.
top half.
Hmm.
So maybe they're not wrong.
Yeah. Well, because the thing is, the sun is a lot closer and a lot smaller than people think. That's the flat Earth perspective right there. That's how it's able to like hover over the Earth. So it just kind of does a small loop around the top during like our summer in the northern hemisphere, and then does
Hmm.
a bigger loop for our winter. See?
Okay.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna
exactly.
need a CastPod science this.
I think we will. But anyways, so yes, so if you know the United Nations logo, that is a flat Earth map that is like accepted by I think most flat earthers. Um, so that's what the world actually looks like. So here's a question that gets asked a lot. Um, well, if the world looks like that, what about Antarctica? Right?
Hmm. I'm
Well,
I'm listening.
so Antarctica is actually it's not one big landmass at the bottom of the globe because the globe doesn't exist. It is a ring around the rest of the world.
Now I'm gonna support flat earthers for a second there.
Okay.
Has anyone ever crossed Antarctica? Like straight
Uh,
across?
Not from my knowledge, but even if they did, they lied. Because here's the thing. Do you know who's allowed to go to Antarctica?
Penguins.
Nobody. Only scientists and government people ever go to Antarctica. So that's why they're keeping it a secret. They don't want people to know that it's a ring. They want people to think it's some landmass, but it's not. It's a ring. It's a wall. It's an infinite expanse. There's a couple different theories. So it's they don't want people going there and figuring out the truth because regular people can't go. And I don't want you to tell me that there are plenty of tourism things that allow people to go see the penguins in Antarctica because that's a lie made up by the government. Which government? All of them. So,
I will say, I
yeah.
mean, of course, other things that have happened have proved flat earthers wrong.
Hmm.
But if that theory somehow turns out to be true,
Wouldn't that
what
be
a
wild?
cover up job they've done.
Wouldn't that just be insane? Because that's um, it's so funny because one of the first things that people say when they're disproving flat Earth are like, "Where's the edge?" And
Hmm.
I think it's still debated between flat earthers what like the theory is because some people say there is an edge, but it's protected um, from like by the government or whatever because the answer is always the government. Um, but some people say there isn't an edge, and you'd be like, "What do you mean there isn't an edge?" Well, Antarctica is actually just an infinite expanse. It just keeps going forever. And you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, that's because it doesn't. You're right. That is what leads into the idea that this isn't about your, high school science. This is divine. Our landmass that we live on was created by a higher being. And that's why things that we don't think make sense according to our science, it doesn't make sense because it's beyond science. Have I converted you yet?
I'm kind of convinced.
Good. That's exactly what I wanted. But we could go on that like forever. Like
All right.
it's literally, like I said, it is a rabbit hole. I would suggest people check it out, but I also am afraid people might actually get convinced. I want to be clear, even though I can be very passionate about it, it's because I just find it hilarious
I'm
more than
telling you,
anything.
if we just need to produce an entire video franchise based off of flat earthers, and
I'm down.
I say we just try and prove them right on a model level. Like,
No, we're gonna be posted on like the flat Earth subreddit, and people are gonna be like, "Finally,
and then they're gonna hear this one episode
people of science."
we're people
I
of
mean,
science because we
honestly,
wear lab coats.
exactly. I mean, you can't wear a lab coat if you're not a scientist.
That's how
That's
we'll go
just
to
the rule.
Antarctica. We'll wear lab coats.
We'll wear a disguise. Yes. Because then we get to Antarctica and people are like, "Hey, who are you?" And then they see the lab coats and they're like, "Oh, my apologies, sir. Please watch
Doctor,
the infinite expanse."
doctor,
Doctor, penguin, doctor.
nurse. Wait. Um,
Hello, nurse. But yeah, we could talk about that forever. So that's just, it's really fun to read about that stuff and to listen to it because it's just like, oh my god. For some
it's
reason, people just,
comedy.
it's like they want to be so smart that they will disregard
Everything.
all expert opinions and facts to create their own. And just like, it's amazing. I could go on a huge rant about like just that, but we'll move on. So now you have the floor. What's another conspiracy theory that you really enjoy? Are
So,
you
before I get to one I enjoy,
sure?
I've been I'm on the it's literally listed conspiracy theories Wikipedia page, and boy, if we play Dingus Dictionary tonight, who me trying to search the words conspiracy theories, I'm not gonna do well tonight. um,
Good.
and so there's like it goes over a lot of them, and it's separated by like medicine, um, political related things to that nature, and
Mm-hmm.
then in the bottom it says sports, and the final conspiracy of the article, and it's all like it's like it all says kind of like what is like true or not, like what like the section is about, and the
Mm-hmm.
last section on the entire Wikipedia page is the New England Patriots.
Deflate gate.
Pretty much.
Oh my god.
And it's like them cheating and stuff, um, things being rigged and questionable play, like questionable calls that have been played. It's so big that it has like I mean it's not that big, but it just has a whole section on the even the New England Patriots wiki page. Gotta love it.
Incredible. Yeah, there's conspiracy theories for everything. I mean, like we could talk about conspiracy theories forever because like there's so many. But
Mm.
I wanted to talk about just like a few that we really like.
I think
Um,
I think a very popular one that I want to bring up next is
mhm.
JFK.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's pretty popular because so for those of you playing along at home, uh, JFK stands for John F. Kennedy,
True.
and this is me vamping time for figuring out when he actually died. So,
It was 1960
three,
something.
1963.
1963. Because the space launch was 69, right? And that's what he wanted to
Yeah.
get done. Yeah.
So John F. Kennedy, who's the 35th president of the United States,
Nice.
yeah, I'm on his Wikipedia page now.
I was gonna say, like, I have no idea, so nice.
Um, he was president for about 3 years. We'll call it a nice even 3. And on November 22nd, he was going through the. Oops, clicked on the wrong side. I know it was in Texas. I just gotta
Mm-hmm.
figure out where in Texas it was. I want to be factually accurate in case of my sister, who studies presidents or whatever she does, um, ever finds out about this and listens to it.
True.
So Dallas, Texas. There we go.
Ah,
So he was assassinated in Dallas, Texas, and the question out there is how he actually died. And there's also a couple conspiracy theories on why he actually died.
yeah.
So he was a relatively progressive president.
I think
He
he's pretty well remembered overall,
he's
right?
he's very fondly remembered, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of goes into the whys a little bit, because there's some theories on he was assassinated because of how, like, the progressive side of things. He wasn't like, he was no Obama, but he definitely was no Trump.
Well
Um,
said.
so there's like people are like, oh, he was a good president. He did good things, and he wanted to really get rid. Originally, he wanted to get rid of things like tyrants, poverty, disease, war, stuff to that nature. And some people were not fans of that because, let's be honest here, we've all seen Iron Man 1, where Iron Man unintentionally sells weapons to terrorists, like,
Yep.
to very big industry, and he can afford to make literal, like, mecha suits.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, back then it was during the Cold War,
mm-hmm,
during some pretty heated moments. So,
yeah,
like, yeah, a lot of stuff was going on back then
mm-hmm,
that would have made the president a pretty big target.
yeah.
You know.
So there's the theory it could have been the Russians. It could have been the FBI, because um, Vice President LBJ, um, he went into office next, and a lot of people would say that he has like LBJ was kind of more pro what the government wanted to be pro of,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like JFK, who wanted a lot more peaceful options, I guess would be the best terminology.
Right.
And then there's also people just straight up didn't like the guy because he didn't think the same as them. Um,
Mm.
he could have been not progressive enough for some people, and that's why he they wanted him dead. He could have been the whole issues with Cuba and stuff like that is like another reason
Yeah.
he rejected. They wanted to what's it called, overthrow Castro in the Bay of Pigs invasion, which failed,
Yep.
and they were like trying to figure out the best way to do that, like, because they were like training Latin American troops in order to send them into Cuba to fight Castro. So it's like there's that obscurity, and then there's like the how he died. There's where did he get shot from, Was
The
it
grassy
the
knoll.
grassy knoll? I think the file storage facility, like not too far away as well.
Hmm.
How many bullets was there? Was there one shot or two? Um, was it a magic bullet? Did it melt in him? Was it ice? Was
Yeah,
it?
because that's the whole thing, right? Is
Yeah.
that when they have a video of it happening
Mm-hmm.
that people have analyzed forever and ever, um, and they arrested a guy, Lee Harvey Oswald,
Mm-hmm.
who was like a sniper, so it makes sense that he'd be able to do it. But he was like where he was located, where he supposedly shot the president, doesn't line up with like the wound and the direction
Mm-hmm.
the shot looked like it came from. So that's why it's very confusing and such a big thing is like, well, like we have a guy who is convicted and whatever and like a whole setup of how it went down, but it doesn't at all look like it matches up with what happened.
And
So that's why,
yeah, it just there's so many things that don't make sense about it, and I think part of the I think it was LBJ where this is where people think that he's involved with it. I think he was the one that made everything incredibly top secret pretty much right off the bat.
was it recently that they said they either were gonna release stuff about it or
They
like
said they
they
were gonna release stuff about it.
yeah, because it I think they were like waiting until like was it not 50 years after or something, but like until
I think it was like 60 years or something like that.
yeah, because they
Or
wanted to make sure like nobody involved in the incident would like still
be alive.
be around, I guess, which is already kind of weird to say, but I mean, yeah, I guess maybe we'll find out soon enough with that.
And I mean, let's let's be honest here though. They could just tell us what they could just tell us anything and then it's just like, "Oh yeah, this is true."
They could. Although I think because there's just been so much investigation into it that like it's like it has to be good. Like it has to match up. Otherwise every conspiracy theorist who's ever made a video on it is going to be like this still doesn't add up with the evidence, you know? Like they if they're going to lie to us, they must have taken all 60
Oh,
years
wow.
to figure out the perfect plan. What?
So they were going to release the documents of what happened in 2017, October 26, 2017, and President Donald Trump said said in October 2017 he would not block the results of the release of these documents. However, 6 months ish later, April 26, 2018, Trump um, set the release of the documents. He blocked the release of some of the records until 2021.
Wow.
So,
I thought it was supposed to like already have happened.
yeah. So I think they released some things about it, but
Mm.
not the full thing.
So stay tuned for CastPod 2021 when we rediscuss this on what actually happened to JFK.
Oh,
That's
God.
right, we'll be one of the first
Well,
media outlets to report it.
yep.
So
Not the
stay tuned.
news. You
No,
heard of NBC, you heard of CBS, now get ready for CastPod.
so Congress has been listening to our episodes that contact us, say, hey man,
We want you to be the first to know.
when we get the info ready to be published, we're sending it to you first. So be ready for that.
I say
Um,
I say we make a very big production out of it if we can.
I think we should. I think it should be the first episode we ever record, like in person at a desk wearing suits,
Yes.
like a real news report, and being like, "This just in from CastPod Live Studios," and like, I
I
think
was
that would
gonna
just
say
be
because I think I might have talked about it with you off the CastPod official record, but like
Mm-hmm.
I have ideas for like if we do move into like video and more live production esque settings.
Yeah.
Like I have a CastPod set all thought out. I have a Heartburn set kind of worked out,
Mm.
etc. Um, and I do want there to just be like the CastPod set won't be a news table at all, but I will go out of my way to make it a news table, like the what's it called, like the weekend report for
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live. I will go out of my way to make it that kind of setup for when we talk about what potentially happens with the Kennedy assassination.
Hey, all you listeners out there, like and subscribe for the Kennedy assassination.
No.
I mean, the Kennedy report on CastBot 2021. Be be there or be square. Um, how much time do we have left? By the way, just want to check.
We're about 41 minutes in.
Okay, cool. Because I still have something to talk about here.
What is it?
Moving on, seamless segue. I want to mention one of my hands down favorite conspiracy theories of all time. Do you know what it is?
I don't.
The moon.
It's funny because I was debating on bringing up that as the conspiracy theory, but then I saw JFK and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a pretty big one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well,
So let's talk about the moon.
let's talk about the moon. Now, what is the moon, Kevin? Do
It's a
you know?
it's a giant rock that's orbiting our planet.
Or is it? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it is. But conspiracy theories say otherwise. So, for some reason, I think one of my favorite type of conspiracy theory, I think, is like a thing that blatantly exists does not actually exist. Because there's a bunch of those. Like
Mhm.
this idea that the moon doesn't really exist, Australia doesn't exist,
Australia
Denmark doesn't
exists.
exist, gravity doesn't exist. Like all of these things that it's like, this is a thing that is
We've
a part of our
proven.
reality. People are like, nah, I'll tell you, nope, I don't believe you. Because it's just like, why? You can see it. Um, but the moon specifically. So the moon, people think the moon isn't real. People think
Hmm.
it is, it's not just a rock in space that orbits us. People think that it is a hologram. They think it is a space station, like some kind of projection. It's not real. Why is the moon not real? Well, because the government's lying to us and they're trying to control us, obviously. It's always the answer is the government.
It's always the
Because, like,
government.
normal people would say, like, what would anyone have to gain by lying about the moon,
Mm.
right? Like, what are they trying to pull?
A quick one on us.
I mean, basically, and honestly, I can't answer that question. I wish I could. But I love it. I love the idea that the moon does not exist. But what I really love is this theory I heard about when in college I was on a conspiracy theory kick. I found
Oh yeah,
like a couple of YouTube channels that were all talking about
you
some random conspiracy
you
theories.
went down the rabbit hole.
I did, and I really enjoyed it. Cause like I said, I do it occasionally, but I remember one specific time in college where it's just I found a few and I just went off and I kept looking for more because it just got better as I went on. And there is this theory that the moon, not that it doesn't exist, this time people believe it exists, but they say that the moon is like the opposite of the sun. And that's kind of a fair point to make, I guess, if you don't consider like astronomy. Like everybody says like, during the day is the sun and it's warm, during the night it's cold and it's the moon, and dark and whatever. So it's like people say the sun and the moon are the opposites all the time. But this theory has to do with temperature, like I mentioned. So the sun gives off heat, right?
Yes.
You know where I'm going with this. The heat
Yes.
gives off light and it gives off warmth.
Yes.
But the moon, what does it give off?
Cool.
You god dang right it does. The moon gives off coolth, and I'm hitting the hand on the desk every time I say a word because it's true. You can go out and you can test this for yourself. I promise. So what you got to do, easy peasy. You go out with a thermometer into the night, and well, you have two thermometers, or I guess you could use one. You put the thermometer in direct moonlight, and then you put one in like shade or like in a box or something.
Mhm.
If you look at those temperatures, you'll see that the one in direct moonlight is colder than one that is in shade or like covered up. Boom, science. Like,
Now,
you can't dispute that.
hold on.
Okay.
I kind of want
Sounds
to
like you're gonna
dispute this.
sounds like you're gonna dispute it. I don't know, but okay.
If you put it in a box, doesn't the unintentional insulation of the box automatically make it slightly warmer?
So next week we're gonna be talking about something else. Yes, that is. So that's the scientific answer. That is the reason that that experiment is stupid. So people, there are lots of videos on the internet of people doing this exact experiment and being like, "Oh my god, it does! It works. The moon gives off coolth." Even though I'm pretty sure I invented the word coolth.
I
I've
think you
never heard
did.
any. I've never heard anybody else say it. But when I talk about this conspiracy theory to people, I use the term because I love it. Um, but yes, so that's what happens is when you put it in a box. In that specific instance, it is being insulated, right? It's either being
Hmm.
protected from like the wind outside,
It's
or
being
it's
protected
just
by
like
some conditions.
it's yeah, and it's sucking up the heat from the box. The other thing is what people do is if they don't put it in a box and they just put it in shade, what they're doing is they're bringing the thermometer into close proximity with some other object, like a building or an umbrella or whatever. And at night, things like that are warmer because things like buildings and overhangs and whatever have spent all day sucking up the heat from the sun and they keep that warmth longer. And you know that
Hmm.
because like for us being reptile enthusiasts, if you go out at night to look for stuff, the road is still hot when everything else might be cold because it's sucked up all that heat and that's why everything comes out onto the roads at night. So it's the same kind of thing. Is like you put a thermometer near a building or whatever, then it's gonna be hotter than out in the middle of wherever in the direct moonlight. So that's the real answer. But I say it's false and that the moon doesn't exist, but if it did exist, it would give off coolth.
It would give off cool. What a title of the episode.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, you can't dispute it.
I can't. I think
Well,
I think you got me to believe that the Earth is flat and the moon gives off cool.
that's right. Now wait until I tell you about how airplanes don't exist.
Is that a legitimate conspiracy theory?
Shockingly, yes. Although I've only ever seen it from one guy. There's one guy on YouTube. I wish I could remember his name. He is convinced that airplanes do not exist. And all of his videos are literally him standing outside, looking up at an airplane, being like, "You can't fool me, government." And it's, oh my god.
So,
It's incredible.
in my own little conspiracy theory rabbit hole that I've dug myself into,
Cool.
I'm on a Wikipedia page called The Great Moon Hoax.
Yes. Good, good.
And apparently there is life on the art. It's from, oh God, how many articles was it? Doesn't say the physical number, just says the word. All right, 6. Uh,
Okay.
and the article describes animals on the moon, including bison, goats, unicorns, bipedal tailless beavers, and bat-like winged humanoids, aka man-bat,
Wait,
who built
wait,
who built
wait.
temples. There were trees, oceans, and beaches. These discoveries were supposedly made with an immense telescope of entirely new principle.
Hannah, I need a breather. You said, you said what? Moon is inhabited by bison, unicorns, goats,
Yep.
bipedal tailless beavers,
Yep.
and man bats.
Yeah.
I'm
Did you get
convinced.
unicorns too? I didn't.
I said unicorns, trust me.
Okay.
Okay, sign me up for whatever religion this is, and please continue.
That's, it's from the late 1800s, or actually early 1800s. It was.
Fantastic. The more recent, the better.
Oh my god, amazing. Edgar Allan Poe claimed this story was plagiarism of his earlier work.
So, wait. So this conspiracy theory
Mm-hmm.
is like a short story written by Edgar Allan Poe that people were like, "Oh yeah, no, that's legit."
I put it in the Discord.
You did. Oh my god, that picture.
A picture of the man bats.
The man bats. Holy
So
moly, the
to paint
unicorn.
this to paint this picture for those of you playing along at home,
Yes,
we
please.
describe them as man bats, but these are more like, think of a person, but they just have bat wings coming out of their back, and it looks like they're still somewhat attached to their legs. Like the arms are
Yeah.
free, so like right in between your shoulder blades is where the wings come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna guess that this person is about 6 feet tall.
Yeah,
So
that's about right.
they've got a wingspan, I would say, from 10 to 18 feet long, and they're able to, I'm gonna guess, take, like, do you see the picture of like the whole scene of what apparently the moon looks like
Uh,
on that
yeah.
article? It's the top one. It looks like they can just take off from standing. It's like a ring of people. Also, they're all naked.
It's wow, this is amazing. My eyes have been opened. Is this like a book that I can read?
I
Because I want it.
I
A
don't
series of
know
6 articles in the Sun.
if. All right, I'll tell you what.
Holy moly.
I'll say this right now, so we'll have to hold ourselves to it. If we somehow get our own building someday, we're gonna have a conspiracy theory room where we film specifically conspiracy theory videos, and we'll have the two required things for that room. Or actually, three is a poorly lit light bulb like hanging down from the ceiling, making things spooky and a lot more intense than it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
We need a big cork board and about I'm gonna say anywhere from 1,000 to 1,000,000 feet of red string, so we can connect all the theories together. And then we need a fully, like, a full picture of this man-bat moon utopia.
I was gonna say, when I get an apartment, this is definitely a poster on my wall. I'm gonna hang this above my bed because this is incredible.
I think we need to do this.
Yeah, I mean, wow, I feel bad for people if they can't see this right now. Like,
Look up the Great Moon Hoax on Wikipedia. You'll see
please
what we're
do,
getting at.
because this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say I love conspiracy theories. Because like, I don't care how creative you are, you never would have thought of the Great Moon Hoax and everything that goes into that. Because like, wow, I'm just I don't even know. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm stumped. I can't debate this. I just can't.
It's so absurd. All right,
Well, you know what's even more absurd
what's absurd?
is that the people are going to have to wait a whole other week until they hear us again.
Aw, look at
Because
you.
it's that time, I
It's
hope. I'm guessing.
You are correct. I was about to
Nice.
start, and then you cut. You didn't cut it in, but I was like, oh, he's saying something. Let's see how this goes. And perfect plug.
Wow, look at that. So, yeah, we're going to finish it out with our typical ending. So, we have our Dingus Dictionary and
That was the most
Wheeler
excited
Fake.
I've ever heard you say Dingus Dictionary.
Dingus Dictionary. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Well, am I gonna go first, or do you want
Sure.
to?
You
Okay, all
you
right.
sounded very excited.
I am excited because I picked this word specifically for this topic. So your word today, it's a bit of a hyphenated word, arguably one word, but you know. Um, your word today is
What are you eating?
metacognizant.
Hold on.
Okay,
What are you eating over there?
I'm not eating anything.
Stop it.
I'm not.
Cat's eating something it's not supposed to.
Oh, like I promise, I'm not. I'm not.
No, I'm just calling out my cats on their bullshit.
Whew.
Alright, what am I wording? What?
You are wording the word metacognizant.
Metacognizant. Can you use it in a definition?
Um, People who believe in conspiracy theories are metacognizant.
Okay. So I'm gonna say META.
Okay.
Is this where the hyphen goes?
Yeah, probably.
Alright, cool. Cognizant. COGN. Can you pronounce it slowly?
Cognizant.
Alright. COGNIC. Wait.
Go on.
Can you tell when I lose track of the letters I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Alright. COGNICANT.
Very close.
Ah,
You said metacognicant. It is METACOGNISANT. So, one letter off there.
ah. I was like, what did I get wrong?
Um, so the like there's two forms actually. You can also spell it with a Z instead of an
What?
S. I know it's wild. So cognizant on its own is having knowledge or being aware of.
Yeah,
So cognizant,
cognitive.
you could also say woke. Metacognizant would be knowing of knowing or the knowledge of knowledge.
So you know you're woke.
You know that you're woke. The truth is out there. I
Mhm.
am aware
The
of how
next,
much I know about the world.
the next level of woke.
Exactly. And that's why I say people who believe in conspiracy theories, the wokest of woke, you know? And that, yeah, that's our topical word. Isn't that cool? I tied it in with the thing we did.
I'm very impressed by this. And I could do
Thank
that
you.
too, but I'm not
Oh,
going to.
okay. Cool.
So, for real or fake, get
Yes.
ready because this is a doozy.
Oh,
There is an Olympic gold medalist.
Michael Phelps.
No. And he encourages the crowd to yell, "You suck" at him.
Hmm.
And this isn't like a bad guy trying to be like, tell me how bad you think I am. Grr, I'm bad. Everybody loves this guy.
All right.
And they cheer for him. They love it when he's like on his way to the ring. But they'll always chant, "You suck."
Hmm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So is that like part of his character? Like, is he like a masochist
No,
wrestler or something?
no.
Oh. Hmm. Uh. Hmm. So the whole "you suck" thing is just completely unrelated to everything.
uh, not like in his early days. Um, one of the people he was against was um, what's it called? Like he started telling him that he sucks,
Mm-hmm.
and over the years, he's basically embraced it.
Oh, interesting. Mm, hmm. For my final question,
Yes.
is his name Jeff?
His name is not Jeff.
I'm gonna say it's real.
Well, it is real.
Yes, I knew it. Once I figured out his name wasn't Jeff, it all came together.
So, the wrestler is Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle.
Oh, I know that name.
Yep. And the it's all based around his theme song, his entrance theme. It has like
Mm.
two parts of it that just goes ba 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 ba, and in the early 2000s, it was actually against Edge. He went. Um, Edge was the good guy, and Kurt Angle was the bad guy, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And Edge was like, yeah, it's like I get it with your song. It's like you suck. And at first, he hated it to a point where his theme song was labeled "I Don't Suck." I'm not even kidding you. There is a song on my laptop called "I Don't Suck,"
I like it. I like it.
and because of that, like he went away. He wrestled in TNA for a couple years, and then he came back, and it's like, the Olympic Golden Boy comes home, and
Hmm.
everyone's chanting, like, still remembers the chant from the older fans and kind of passing it down to the younger fans, of just going, "You suck." and he full on embraced it. Like, here's this
Nice.
crowd going absolutely wild that he's returning to the WWE, and like, people are losing their mind, and they're still chanting "You suck" at an Olympic gold medalist, and he's just fully encouraging it.
What was his gold medal in?
Wrestling,
Oh,
like
well, I figure that one out.
Yeah, Greco-Roman style.
Ah, okay.
He won the gold medal in 1996 with a broken neck.
Wow, good for him.
Hmm.
I couldn't even do it with a normal neck.
I couldn't even do it.
True.
I don't even meet anywhere close to his weight class.
Wow. Well, I think this has been an incredibly educational episode.
Yes, it has been. But before we go,
Oh, yes.
got a couple of announcements to make because this episode comes out today, June 14th, Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Yes, it does come out today at that time.
So, this upcoming Saturday, our good buddy Dan, Dialects 4, is having a charity stream for St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I gotta help him still figure out the logistics of it, even though
Probably.
it's only 4 days away
Ah, that's
from
fine.
today, the day this video is coming out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna be there. Calum's gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
All the important people at CastPod are gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
And if he needs a break, we might just hop in and do a live CastPod.
That's true. We could definitely do that.
Or a live Harper in the podcast with Danny.
Definitely some sort of podcast might be recorded.
Honestly, we don't know. Dan said he wants help, and I think he wants to make a schedule for it, but none of us have made a schedule.
Yeah, it'll be decided in time.
Should probably talk to them about that
Yeah,
tomorrow.
we should probably talk about it. But anyways, yeah.
Tomorrow, July 15th.
Yep. That's tomorrow. Yep.
So there's that, and I think the other thing I have to say is we got a pretty big month next month. Next
Yeah.
month is August. Calum, do you know what Augen is?
Ogden is.
Do you know how to
It's
use an
the.
auger?
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's the 8th month.
8th month. And you know what happens when you take the 8th letter of the alphabet, rearrange it, add in some other letters, take out some other letters? You get the word Danny.
I was gonna say, does that make National Danny Month?
It does make National Danny Month.
That's crazy how that works out like that.
It's zany. I did the math myself. It works out flawlessly. August 2020 is National Danny Month. We will have
Yeah,
a full month's worth of content featuring Harper and the podcast host, Danny DeVeggia.
that's right. Um, we've probably mentioned Danny before. He is a good friend of ours, and we've been on. Well, I've been on his podcast. Um, Kevin will soon to be on his
I've been on
podcast,
it
right?
once.
Oh, you have been. Oh,
I
yeah,
was on
yeah,
it with the real cluster episode
yeah, 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 yeah. I remember.
where we're
Uh,
not going to mention it anymore.
but yeah, definitely check him out. We're gonna have him around because we enjoyed the thing we did with Tom. We'd like to have more people on. And yeah, Danny is also a content creator. Slightly different take on it, but
Yeah.
we're all in this together. He is part of our group of creators, so
This was
we want to
it
include him.
stemmed from when he was he talked about how he wanted to record with us all like this weekend,
Yeah.
which that hasn't happened yet. But
No, it's become a pretty busy weekend, honestly. So it may or may not
So
actually
yeah,
fully happen. But yeah, that's a thing that's gonna occur, and we just want you people to be prepared for it. It's gonna be a fun time.
so yeah, we're gonna have Danny's gonna be in some CastPods. We're gonna figure out a couple of ranks to do. We might do other fun videos, like the one we made with Tom that hasn't been out yet because I have to edit it and I just haven't had time.
Yep, but it's coming. So until then, I guess
should
we will
ship
see you.
I should ship that off to Dan. Make it
Yeah,
his problem.
probably. But until then, we will see you with the next episode of CastPod, where we will be talking about video games.
Oh, sweet.
That's right. I said it, and now it is fact. It is law. So come on down for that.
Bye.